Welcome to the Manila Bulletin Daily Rundown, where we bring you the latest stories that matter to Filipinos straight from the heart of the Manila Bulletin newsroom. Here's the quick rundown of today's top stories, Thursday, October 10th. Government crafting a plan to repatriate over 400 Pinoys from Lebanon. President Marcos said the government is working with different agencies to craft a plan to repatriate more than 400 Filipinos who are willing to return home amid the ongoing conflict in Lebanon. Last Wednesday, Marcos convened a Zoom meeting where he directed relevant government agencies to mobilize resources for the safe and timely repatriation of Filipinos affected by the crisis in the Middle East. During the meeting, he told government officials to evacuate the Filipinos in any way possible. He suggested utilizing assets in nearby areas to quickly assist Filipinos in need. The repatriation remains at level 3. Elevating it to level 4 will depend on the prevailing situation. The Department of Foreign Affairs and the Philippine Embassy are assessing the situation before changing the response level. Season 2 of House Quad Committee hearing begins Friday. Here's what to expect. The House Quad Committee officially begins Season 2 tomorrow, Friday, October 11th, as it continues to dig deeper into the rabbit hole of alleged crimes spawned by the interconnected issues on Philippine offshore gaming operators, the Duterte drug war, and extrajudicial killings. Among those invited to the expected marathon hearing Friday are witnesses to the alleged extrajudicial killings in Cebu, where the controversial former Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office General Manager Royina Garma formerly served as the police chief. During the last quad-comm hearing on September 27th, Police Lieutenant Colonel Santi Fuentes Mendoza, presently assigned with the Philippine National Police Drug Enforcement Group, and his civilian anti-drug asset, Nelson Mariano, both testified that Garma and National Police Commission Commissioner Edilberto Leonardo planned and funded Barayuga's assassination. Meanwhile, barbers echoed Abante's positive reception of Duterte's apparent willingness to appear before the quad-comm. However, barbers affirmed Abante's earlier statement that Duterte would be accommodated in a future hearing, and not Friday. Taal Volcano spews 2.8 kilometer of plume following its minor phreatic eruption. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS, said that the Taal Volcano experienced a minor phreatic or steam-driven eruption at 7:21 a.m. on Thursday, October 10th, which produced a plume that reached a height of 2.8 kilometers. Furthermore, PHIVOLCS said the degassing of high concentrations of volcanic sulfur dioxide continues to pose significant long-term health risks to communities surrounding Taal caldera that are frequently exposed to volcanic gases. Local government units are also encouraged to monitor their community's preparedness and implement appropriate measures to mitigate risks associated with long-term degassing and related phreatic activity. PNP Chief Marbil says that around 39.8 billion pesos worth of drugs seized under President Marcos's administration. The Philippine National Police Chief General Romel Francisco Marbil said that the seized illegal drugs were confiscated in more than 109,000 operations from July 1, 2022 to October 7th this year, adding that the operations also resulted in the arrest of 137,190 individuals involved in drug-related activities. Under his term as Chief PNP, Marbil said 25,312 operations were conducted and resulted in the arrest of 30,888 individuals and confiscation of 17.2 billion pesos worth of illegal drugs. During this period, the Philippine National Police confiscated 15.39 billion pesos worth of shabu, 417.9 million pesos worth of dried marijuana leaves, 1.15 billion pesos worth in marijuana plants, 4.2 million pesos worth of cocaine, 9.5 million pesos worth of ecstasy, and 243.4 million pesos worth of ketamine. 6 Philippine higher education institutions ranked among the best in 2025 Times Higher Education World University Rankings. The Commission on Higher Education said in a statement that from 5 higher education institutions featured in the previous year's rankings, there are now 6 in the latest Times Higher Education World University ranking, with the inclusion of a public higher education institution. The 6 Philippine higher education institutions secured the following places in the 2025 rankings are Ateneo de Manila University in the 1,001 to 1,200 bracket, University of the Philippines in the 1,201 to 1,500 bracket, and in the 1,501 plus bracket are De La Salle University, Mapua University, Mindanao State University, Iligan Institute of Technology, and University of Santo Tomas. Self-rated poverty slightly higher in the third quarter of 2024 according to the SWS survey. In its report released, SWS found that 59% of Filipino families consider themselves poor. 13% identify as borderline, or placing themselves between poor and not poor, and 28% rate themselves as hindi mahirap, or not poor. The percentage of families identifying as poor increased to 59% in September 2024, approximately 16.3 million families, from 58%, about 16 million households in June 2024. SWS said this is the highest level of self-rated poverty since June 2008. The Department of Budget and Management boosts education budget, cuts cash assistance. The Department of Budget and Management increased its 2025 funding for education, but reduced its cash assistance allocation or ayuda for poor Filipinos. Of the proposed 6.352 trillion pesos national budget for next year, 977.6 billion pesos, or over 1/6 of the total, will be poured into education. This education budget is higher than the sector's 968.9 billion peso allocation in the 2024 General Appropriations Act. On the other hand, the total allocated budget for cash assistance, or ayuda, is 253.378 billion pesos, which provides financial support to vulnerable sectors of society. This is lower than the total appropriations for ayuda or cash assistance programs, which amounted to 318.5 billion pesos this year. Azkal's name revived for 7-a-side football tourney. The Azkals are making a return trip to the international stage, this time in a different form, when they compete in the Asia Sevens Championship at the EV Arena in Elmina, Shah Alam in Malaysia, starting Thursday, October 10th. The squad seeks a strong start when it battles Hong Kong at 6 p.m. and the host at 10 p.m., then clashes with India on Friday, October 11th at 5:30 p.m. to wrap up the classification stage before heading to the quarterfinals later that night. Stay updated with the latest news. Visit our website at www.mb.com.ph or follow us on social media. Thanks for tuning in to the Manila Bulletin Daily Rundown.